Wherever you're watching us around the world, you're welcome back to U45 Morning Show. It is the front burner issue, and we're looking at the Customer Service Week. I'd like to reiterate that you can watch live on our live streaming platform. That's at superscreen.tv, and you can download our apps, Cflix and Cloverworld, from the Google Play Store. But here, you're watching right now on StarTimes 473, or you're on the terrestrial platform, UHF45. For us to get this conversation on the road, we have with us someone that I want to say has many caps when it comes to sales, marketing, and of course, corporate communications. He is Babarinde. He is Babarinde Abiona. He's the General Manager, Corporate Comms and Marketing for Coast Charis Group. It's a pleasure to have you join us, sir.
Thank you very much for having me, Chris.
I'd like to start on a very lighter note. Thursdays in Lagos, driving. What would you make of a Thursday, a Monday, and a Friday? Understanding that the whole phasing out of the COVID-19 guidelines for the PTF is almost getting to full scale. But what was it like driving to Superscreen this morning?
Well, thank you. A Thursday in Lagos, you will agree with me, is the beginning of the early weekend.
Okay.
So when you have a Thursday, traffic can be either way, can be friendly. It was friendly this morning, maybe because, it was an early trip.
Okay.
And that leads you to the Friday buzz, which we all say, thank God it's Friday. But I hope, commuters can say, thank God it's Friday again now with all the constructions going on. So Thursday could be nice, it could be fun, but you can also put a finger on it. Anything can go wrong, especially with the current construction going on around the town.
All right, sir. Okay, let's get into what it is. I did some R&D, and I figured global brands thought it wise that it is very important they give their customer attention for a whole week. It is called the Customer Service Week, and that is why we have an executive like you in a very lighter outfit this morning, not in your 4x4, if I must say that. But let's start from the topic we have in front of us, the customer as a stakeholder in business. What's your evaluation or perception about such topic?
Yeah, thank you, Chris. When we talk about your topic, speaking to the topic specifically, the customer as and the business, and I'm going to break it down using the three key words in that topic. We're talking of the customer, we're talking of business, and you're talking of stakeholder. And that tells you something, that the three works together. In terms of, you can't have a business, you can't run a business, you can't claim to have a business ongoing without having a customer. So what do? You put the business in the heart of that customer and let the customer that you have identified as your priority audience become your loyal. There's a customer, there's also a loyal customer. So when you have been able to migrate that customer in the first place, starting up your business into a loyal customer, that customer automatically becomes what? Your stakeholder. So it becomes a win-win situation.
Interesting.
Because if you are called a stakeholder, that means you have a stake in that business. So you can see how the three comes together. So it's a function of how do you prepare your services and your products to that identified priority audience, that they become your stakeholder in the business with you.
The takeaway for me, based on your introduction, is that loyalty part of it. That seems to be, most times you just see people do some ad and say customer loyalty. Well, let's look at the Coast Charis brand. It's a conglomerate, if that's right as a statement, because the conversation with the executive director of special duties, Cosmos Junior Maduka, opened up the eyes of our viewers and, of course, those of us here at Superscreen, that it is not just the automotive industry that you have the Coast Charis play. There is a lot I don't want to start enumerating. You're here to do justice to that. But let's look at customer service at Coast Charis. What kind of culture has the organization been able to develop in the years it has played in the various sectors the brand finds itself?
Yeah, thank you. Just like I stated earlier, for us in Coast Charis as a brand, having our customers in tandem with the vision of our founder, that is Dr. Cosmos Maduka himself, is a function of having those customers in various sectors where we play as a group and turning them to stakeholders in our business. So that kind of culture is a culture that even for us in Coast Charis, yes, we're also celebrating Customer Service Week. For real, your Customer Service Week, your customer service should be a daily basis.
Beyond the week, which is...
Beyond the week, because I can tell you, of course, various organizations, we can celebrate the week, and does that mean after this week, your customer is no more the important aspect of your business? So for us in Coast Charis, mention all the sectors we play, from Coast Charis Farms in the agri sector, down to Coast Charis Medicals, down to Coast Charis Mobility, down to Coast Charis Technology, and down to Coast Charis Motors, which of course is always at the forefront. And you agree with me that Coast Charis, because when you're talking of automobile, that is more visible, so to say. And if you also drive down the history of Coast Charis brand in Nigeria, is actually the founder started the business from the automotive sector.
Okay,
which
great.
you can also even share down in terms of various brands that we do represent now, and I'm sure you know about that. So in terms of the customer and the Coast Charis brand, for us, it's a win-win situation. It's, we see our customers as our stakeholders that must have input, because it's not about delighting ourselves, it's about delighting that customer. And because the customer also have options, has choices. So whatever we want to do, that value for money must be the call for front.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going to make it a very open one. So if you're an entrepreneur watching, or you're one of those that would like to work for a brand, a global brand as Coast Charis Group, you might want to call to ask a few questions. Of course, Abiona or Babarinde is here with us in the studio. He handles communication, so he should be able to speak for the brand better. So let's take it forward to even the global perception of a customer service week. Historically, it's because of the way technology and other things are going that people are beginning to resonate with how the activities goes. Before now, there has always been the customer service week, but if you look at the last 5 years, brands in Nigeria are beginning to now make it more pronounced, probably because of the availability of the social media. Not every brand wants to pay money and come to traditional media like us, even though we now marry both, just as we are now. People are watching us across the world. What do you make of that week? What value does it bring extra, or what consciousness does it bring to an organization, using Coast Charis as a case in point?
Yes, thank you, Chris. Actually, like you rightly mentioned, Customer Service Week has been a global celebration for this particular period of the year, just like every other special days or special week that we have globally. And that's why most brands now have also taken it upon themselves that it's a week to celebrate. And even at this point in time, I think it's also important I break it down. When we say Customer Service Week, okay, for us in Coast Charis, it's a two-sided coin, so to say. That customer you're talking about is also, we have the internal customer and we have the external customer.
Oh, interesting. How do you mean?
Good. The internal customers are your various teams. That is your human element in your organization.
Oh, great.
You understand? Because if you don't also celebrate
Human
capital as your assets, there is no way, if you don't have a fantastic human capital that is valued, you understand, you can't get them to actually deliver that value to your external customers. So most of the time, most organizations take this customer service as, oh, what do we do to celebrate the external customers? Which is very key, which is primary. But what is also very important is to say that, look, over the years, there will be one or two fantastic team. You understand? You have different teams. There will be different. In fact, you can have team awards, so to say. You can have individual awards because there will be one or two that will have distinguished themselves in delivering that
amongst the pack.
Exactly, in delivering that value for those external customers. So that is why for us in Costaris, and I'm sure if you join us tomorrow, that is also going to come out to play, that we are going to also identify one or two to say thank you, well done. Good. And that says a lot. When you're saying well done to your internal customer, what does that mean? Of course, you are not going to be saying that to everybody. You are motivating those ones that have been exceptional, and you are also motivating those that have not been identified
to step up their game.
To step up their game. And collectively, when you do that for your internal customers, you are now also consciously motivating the team, the internal customers, to continue to deliver that value for the external customers.
All right. Let me come in here. There's some, in the course of trying to do my research, because I keep asking myself, I went to the bank and I saw the way the teller, the lady was dressed as a nurse. And I'm like, what is happening here? People, like you said, people get different team and the rest. There is a word I got. It says a definition for customer service. It said the key to good customer service is building good relationships with your customers, thanking the customer and promoting a positive, helpful, and friendly environment will ensure they leave with a great impression. A happy customer will return often and is likely to spend more. Do you go with this school of thought?
I agree with that 100%. And that is also how to actually value those you call your customers. And I will also speak to that in terms of what we also did and what we are also doing to end this customer. Of course, we started this week with a very subtle but strong message from our president, the chief executive officer. That's Dr. Maduka himself, which you can find on all over our social media platforms, where he shared that communication, talking to those external customers and our internal customers. I mean, stating perfectly how we appreciate them for being with us over the years. And of course, we can't also but appreciate customers the more now, especially having gone through, and we're still going through globally, the pandemic. You understand? I mean, you don't want to say, I mean, those that have even lost their lives. You understand? So for surviving even till now is a cause to say thank you to those customers.
Okay.
Now, in terms of sending messages out, those are the kind of things that we've done. And over for us in Costaris, we've started this week with that statement from the chairman, like I said. And what we're also doing currently, today is Thursday, is that we're engaging.
I would like to get details of that after we take this break from our partners and sponsor. Let's go for the break, and when we come back, let's now find out how it's been from Monday and, of course, culminating to Wednesday. Today is Thursday. Abiona, Babarinde will share with us what the Costaris Group is doing in that light. Do join us again.
In these uncertain times, One thing's certain. We're in this together. So Clean Protect, the antibacterial detergent that removes 99.9% germs while it cleans. Because germ-free clean is the real clean that we all need. Do your best to protect your family. So Clean Protect.
Businesses last long. Seriously. Welcome back to You for the 5 Morning Show. We're looking at the Global Customer Service Week, of course, but we're actually having a scope for Nigeria, and we're taking a Nigerian brand, which some people have said is becoming a transgenerational business, the Kosharis Group. And with us in the studio is Babarinde Abiona. He is the General Manager, Marketing and Corporate Communications, and he's about to unfold what has happened in the last 3 days. Because we've not been there, our lens is ready to join them from tomorrow. Then, of course, tell us today and tomorrow's activities. So, thanks for staying with us.
Thank you.
Let's look at the first 3 days. The way you sounded, it seemed like more of the internal customers have been the one being engaged. But let's get you share that with us.
Yes, thank you. That was what I was trying to explain before we went on that break. You see, starting off the week for us, we started with the message which we've sent out to all our customers, stakeholders generally. Then Monday, Tuesday, what we also did, even till this very day, was to share ourselves into groups, into different teams. And what are those teams? What did they do? What are they expected to do? They are expected to engage, select customers, because of course you have a huge load. But the point is, we also took into consideration the COVID-19 protocols that are still existing anyway, and that if, for example, you are one of our customers that we needed to visit, you understand, if some companies are still working outrightly from home, so you can't actually do a physical visit. And again, you are also trying to guide against probably invading any office in numbers. So what we just did, which is what we all call the new normal now, how we've been running
I was going to ask you your new normal.
Exactly. So we also decided to do our new normal in our customer service in a special way by engaging our customers virtually. So what we've been doing since Monday was to engage our customers via Zoom and via other technology-driven approach by engaging them. Can be via phone, but most of the time we did that via Zoom because we want to also have a touch of view. And what we also did this time around is not a function of if I'm probably your account officer, like we say, like the salesman, I'm not the one to engage you. We have different teams, different departments to come. So you may find yourself talking to the finance controller of the company.
Interesting.
You understand?
It's a different feel from the regular voice you get every now and then.
I happen to be scheduled to talk to one or two customers I've never met before. You understand? Because they are used to that. And it's not even only that. The most important thing that we're also trying to take out from this engagement is to have those feedbacks. You know, the feedback you are likely to give me, being a strange face from the same company, will be different from your day-to-day person that you know. And more importantly for us, we want to have even the negative feedback. So the whole essence for us in Kosharis of celebrating this way is not a function of we engaging you and telling us what we want to hear. We want to have some, because that's negative feedback. We see it as a gift.
For re-engineering,
you understand? A customer that gives you a negative feedback, take it as a gift because it helps you. because that means that customer still, and that was why when I started this conversation, that means that kind of customer is a stakeholder. It's beyond just a customer, because that customer has a choice to walk away. He has options. So if a customer is even giving you his reservations, so those are the things we are taking home. So that's why I'm saying that for us, after this week, it's not about just the celebration. We are also going to reappraise those feedbacks, and it goes round the group.
Filling the gaps.
Exactly, but the most, focused area of the business is the automobile business, which, of course, you expect more crowded. But what I'm saying here is a group-wide thing. The Costaris Mobility are also talking to their stakeholders.
Great.
You understand, in terms of course, they do a lot of fleet business, so they want to probably talk to not the fleet manager of the clients now, maybe someone else. How is our chauffeurs doing? Are they well dressed when they pick your staffs? Things like that. The Costari Technologies are also talking to their customers. Okay, what's about the gadgets we've shared? So there are a whole lot of activities going on, getting feedbacks, and where, of course, we are also getting accolades. In fact, the ones I engaged, I was like, oh, I hope someone has not told you to tell me the good things. So those are also good things that we use to identify our internal customers that have done well. So it's a win-win, and for us, we take it beyond this. But of course, we are following the trends that this week is a global thing. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays and Thursdays are the. So tomorrow, which is going to be the to cap up the whole thing, is when, of course, we're having media partners like you to come in. And what we're also doing is, that's where we are having the brand icon of Costaris himself, Dr. Maduka, is going to be on ground and at the group head office to also have interface. Of course, he has interface from time to time. But now you want to see Dr. Maduka probably walking into the workshop or the service center, or walking into the showroom. Maybe tomorrow, if someone walks in tomorrow, you may find that it's Dr. Maduka that is going to sell a brand new car to you. So that is what we are trying to do. And it's going to now give like a pep talk on what our stakeholders should expect moving on from this way. So it's a pretty 1 week of activities, fun. And of course, you can't also, like you rightly said, that you went to a bank and you saw a banker in a nose outfit. Of course, that's why we are all in our branded friends. So this week, I'm sure you'll find everybody in our Costari's offices in jeans and your T-shirts, just dress down, feel relaxed, have engagement, have fun with you. So tomorrow, I think our dress code tomorrow, if you don't have a white, then you are not part of Costari's team. Okay, so a white T-shirt on the jeans tomorrow is what our dress code is. So it's all about having fun and celebrating the fantastic, loyal customers we've had over the time. And that is all about
Well, so I think it would be very important for emphasis sake to just have what I would call an executive summary. Let me put you on the spot a little. An elevator pitch is 60 seconds, but let's say you have the luxury. I will triple by 60 seconds. In 3 minutes, give us the executive summary of the Costaris Group, looking at the different sectors you play, and of course, the offer in terms of service and product.
Thank you very much. Well, you didn't put me on the spot. That is what I would love to do. But the only challenge I have, which I will try to turn to opportunities, is that timing. Because I will need not 60 seconds, but 60 hours. Because we are talking of a wholly owned Nigerian brand that have grown over the years, and that is the Costaris brand. And maybe I should also state here that the word Costaris is actually a combination of the name of the founder, that's Cosmos, and the wife, Charity. That's what comes up to become the Costaris you have today. So this is a company that started with spare parts. You see, the beauty of talking about this brand, I can tell you for free, you can only get the best from the visionary himself, which you will have that privilege to do. But you see, we started with those spare parts business. That was when, and that's why we always also claim that even if you, because a lot of people always believe that if you are not a Jaguar or a Ford or a BMW customer, you are not a Costaris customer. And that's why the business started with the spare parts, which we have as a team of auto care and components. And that tells you that those are the people that sells. I mean, if you talk about Aspanda, the Ladipos, we do supply all those places. And that tells you that you are Costaris customers once you are driving a car on the road in Nigeria. Because anybody driving any car, any brand, you need all these parts from these places I've mentioned. And we are one of those that play very heavily there. So starting off from there. And Abro products, I'm sure you also, if you go to any standard car wash, you have all sorts of car care items. Abro is one of the biggest auto care brand in United States of America. And Costaris today is the exclusive representative of Abro in Nigeria. So that also tells you that. And from there moves to the automobile itself, starting with the BMW, which we all know as a German machine, you understand? So we are privileged to also represent a whole lot of iconic brands that are globally respected over the years.
Okay.
And you agree with me that for these kind of international brands, they don't look at your face that, oh, because they like your face, that's why they will put those brands in you. That means there's something unique that Costaris have done over the years that we're still doing that makes us to have this brand. If my statistics is right, it's time to be corrected if there's any dealership, auto dealership that has the numbers of automobile that we represent under the same roof like Costaris. In fact, the latest one we have is from France, which is the Renault. You understand? We have the Renault, which we just also got the last year, which we launched out, but we would have done the formal launch if not for the COVID.
Okay.
And you know, so, and we have the BMW, which we started with. You understand? Then we have the Jaguar Land Rover. You understand? And you look at it that how managed we are having those kind of luxury brands. So it's not even all about luxury, because at times the perception is when you hear of Costaris, oh, it's the luxury brand. And that's why when you talk about this American brand that is very strong to the heritage of America, and that's a Ford. So we also represent Ford here in Nigeria. Like I said, Renault from France, so Ford from US.
Okay.
So you have BMW from Germany. So you have Jaguar Land Rover from UK. And well, the pick of the pack, so to say, the Rolls-Royce is also one of the, and we have all this brand exclusively. So leaving the automobile, we've also migrated. And that was why I mentioned Costaris mobility. And of course, if you also know this global brand that is very strong globally from Germany in terms of logistics, and that is Sixt Rentals. So Costaris Mobility represents Sixt Rentals exclusively in Nigeria. Likewise, Costaris Technology, which also represents a lot of
Tech
IT,
brands.
tech brands. I mean, the Microsoft and what have you. You understand? So that is also, then, like my chairman will say, the natural business that will give you the natural fare, that will give you the grain in your life. That is the farming aspect, which is the
agribusiness. Okay.
Exactly. So, and that is what we have also done with the Costaris farms, which also produces Costaris rice. And of course, the Costaris medicals. So you look at it that if you take it in perspective of even when we had the COVID-19 that actually hit the nation, we were positioned positively to still create and add value to the sustenance of the challenge.
In the middle of scarcity
exactly,
and pain.
the challenge we had then. Because as at that time, that was when, of course, the most important thing to any human being was your health. You understand? And Costaris Medicals was very handy to also support, various governments in supplying the health, because the Costaris Medicals is all about the health, the medical equipment.
Okay.
So we were able to come very handy there. And of course, after health, if you look at the way COVID comes to play, after even surviving, it's all about food.
You need to eat.
Exactly, you are not even going anywhere anyway. There are no social life again. So the food aspect, Costaris also as a brand was also able to position right and also create that value and also, increase that possibility of feeding the populace with the Costaris rice. Of course, apart from the ones we donated as CSR, it also comes very handy because that is what people need to eat. Of course, you and I were also locked down somewhere, and that's why the new normal, everybody became the IT experts because
Absolutely.
all you could do to communicate or engage, and of course to keep the business running, is your IT, and that's where Costaris technology also comes in. So if you look at our business model, it's a function of creating value in everywhere where we play. So, and this value, taking it down to the customer service we're talking about, is being measured by the loyalty and the satisfaction of those customers. And that is why the business of Costaris as a brand will still exist. And that is why we've been able to migrate a lot of our customers to become stakeholders.
Interesting.
And
Balancing the topic.
that is why the loyalty for us, customer loyalty is key. And when you talk of loyalty, loyalty is not 99.9. Loyalty is even over 100 if you want to get that loyalty.
Okay.
And that is why you will see a lot of our customers from all these group, all the sectors that we play, they come very handy as our brand ambassadors wherever we have.
Thank you very much for that. That was a deep one, in as much as I'm not going to counter the time you spent, but that was really apt because for viewers, clarity of essences is key here. We'll take the last break. Coming back will be to look at, are there even opportunities from employment to partnership to investment at the Costaris Group? Do join us again as we take the conversation to the wrap-up.
iReports gets even better with SuperScreen TV. Stand a chance of winning recharge cards for your efforts. Send videos and accompanying description to this WhatsApp line on 0811 1776 314. Viewers can send footages of newsworthy items, breaking news, and other events, and have it feature on SuperScreen television. Stand a chance of winning recharge cards for your efforts. Send videos and accompanying description to this WhatsApp line on 0811 1776 314. iReports gets even better with SuperScreen TV.
One solution to Nigeria problem.
God Almighty.
I'm not giving you any solution. Those people that cause the problem, let them go and find out how to solve the problem.
Make everybody do your work as supposed to do them.
NEPA and police, which one you like pass?
Two of them are December, I don't like any of them.
Police still makes sense because then they protect us.
Organ never show pass. They be devil and like Satan, and they tell you.
Person go just carry bill, come tell you say you the whole 70,000. Imagine, yeah, the way we say you pack come last 2 months. Maybe that they look say the farmer house where they live wait for pack come, you they hold for them. I made it.
Yeah, your own.
That SuperScreen TV, they happen.
All right, welcome back to the wrap-up part for you for the 5 today. It's a TBT, it's a throwback Thursday, but the conversation for us is the customer service week. Now, you might want to put yourself in the shoes of any of the brand that you actually patronize. Could it be the telco or what have you? Have you thought about the fact that you're actually a stakeholder in that brand, irrespective of how much you're actually spending? This and more are the conversations we're looking at in the studio. And the guest for this second phase of the conversation is actually Abiona Babarinde. He is the general manager for marketing and corporate communications at Coast Group. So let's take this conversation to a close, but because we know, of course, the activity is going on there and you are here, you need to join your team. Looking at employment opportunities for global brands like you, let's even go from the inspirational and motivational standpoint. What would you say to the average Nigerian that would like to join the Coast Group? Why am I saying this? The word internship, most times for young people, doesn't resonate well because they say, oh, internship, I'm not getting paid. Let's even have you talk about such opportunities before we talk about employment, then investment at Coast Group.
Yes, thank you, Chris. For us in Coast Cherries, of course, you know, it's a popular balance to say that your staffs are your assets, but we actually try to prove that. And when you say your staff, starting from the person that comes to our organization, even just for 1 week internship, down to a youth corper, which you can also categorize as an ad hoc staff, down to the full staff, we treat everyone equally. Because especially those that are seen to be ad hoc, like you rightly said, the interns, because most of the times they just come for some short-time work so that they can have some practical experience, which means they will go back to complete their studies. We do subject them to the reality of a workplace because why that kind of program is also being done is that what you've been taught in the classroom, now go and practicalize it. So for us, it's key because that intern that is going back to the classroom must go back with either a positive experience in Coast Cherries or a negative one. So that's why it's important for us as a company to make sure that we give the quality of practicals in terms of human capital into that person. So that because we see every opportunity to turn everybody to our ambassador. So let that young chap go back to his school after 3 months, 6 months and say,
and tell the Coast Cherries story.
Exactly, that tell the Coast Cherries stories and even look forward to coming back to Coast Cherries.
Oh, interesting. Let's not talk about partnerships. For instance, the agribusiness, the value chain you have is several. Now, according to the conversation with Junior Maduka, he is able to enumerate that the Coast Cherries brand plays in the entire value chain, even access to market. What are the opportunities for an average farmer sitting somewhere? He has the tools. Are there rooms where, or support? I just want to find out, what can Coast Cherries do with the Nigerian citizens beyond those in their employ?
Yes, if you take into consideration the setup of any business, so to say, your value that you are driving is beyond your immediate employees.
Correct.
You understand? Because if you look at the value chain, and speaking directly to our Coast Cherries farms, of course, there are different segments of that production line. You're talking of the farming, and you're talking of even the milling and what have you. You see, the milling also has, I mean, we have one of the best modern rice mill in Nigeria today. You understand, with our rice mill. But you can say that, okay, that one would be for more educated people to manage farm. Then the farm itself, for the mere fact that the farm is situated in a community, that already opens up something. employment for those within that community. Because if a farm is situated in, like is situated in Anambra there, and in a particular village, in a particular community, you already created another business opportunity for those people, because you're also going to be having people that will do the farming, do the planting from that community. Those are the things you can do, that you can engage those immediate residents there. Then there's also a transition. You are transporting it to the mills. You understand? So those are things that will open up. You are also looking at road constructions. So indirectly developing that locality. So in a nutshell, when you open up any business, you are not likely to equip the business with just 100% of your internal
You can run
customers.
it in isolation.
Exactly, in isolation of those that will also benefit. And that's why you have a lot of vendors. Even if you take it to other businesses we will do. You understand? I've mentioned mobility, I've mentioned technology, I've mentioned medicals. There are certain things that is not even our employers, direct employers, that would deliver it. You understand? You are also getting, so you are driving that value to other third parties. You understand? That will eventually have the delivery with the eventual customer. And in this case, for us, like the auto care that I mentioned, you understand? We are not selling directly your spare parts probably to you. We have some dealers scattered all over the country that comes to take from, because we are the one that will deliver that goods from wherever it's coming from. So you have those that will do the transportation. You have already employed a transporter. You have already given business to a transporter.
As your outsourced partner.
Exactly. And someone is also going to have a shop probably in Aspanda or Aba or Ladipo or whatever. That person also already has a shop that you and I are going to patronize. You understand? So it's a chain of value that we drive from time to time. And same thing we do with our automobiles. So for us, it's not even about the employers. You understand? So that partnership is a very strong business model that we drive from time to time to make sure that we extend this value, and which ultimately also add value to the economic development of the country as a whole.
All right, so I want to thank you very, very much for how far you've taken us on this conversation. To wrap up, what are the benefits for your customers this week? Is there something unusual you're doing that people can say, oh, there's a freebie here, or there is something I can put my money on? Let's talk about it as you wrap up your customer service week in the next 48 hours.
I know that everybody likes everything that is free, even in Freetown. Of course, for us, we celebrate our customers with a lot of offerings from time to time.
Okay.
So I try as much as possible to de-emphasize the 1 week as 1 week of grace. You understand that that's the only time we want to be nice, or we want to give
like the anticipation of Christmas.
Exactly. But here in Costa Rica, we take it beyond that. Of course, in order to also further delight our stakeholders, so to say, especially on the automobile sector. For this week, starting Monday that we started, if you are picking up any spare parts in any of our workshops for our after-sales delivery, you have a 10% discount off. And that is for picking up any parts that you need to use to repair your cars or your vehicles. So you have a 10% off that. Then on top of that, you also have 10% on the service costing that you're going to have.
Oh, great.
You understand? And why this is important to mention is that this 10% on part, 10% on after on service is very key, in the sense that if you look at, like I always say, that for every brand new car, there is no car predominantly that probably you can say is not a good car. One is brand new. At least for the first 2 years, you're going to enjoy your car. But what is important, and that is where we also bring out our uniqueness, is your after sales, after the purchase. You understand? Because there is no way, even a brand new car, you do what we call the basic first service. And that is why for us in Costaris, and that is also the difference, excuse me, of being a franchise owner, because we give you the 360-degree experience about the brand, about the product you are having. So for us, if you get the 10% part, it's not just the 10%, you are getting 10% of an original part. Because if you don't have original part to fix your car, the problem starts from there. Now, getting the original part is another thing. Do you have the original tools to fix the original parts?
What about the original expertise to fix the original parts?
You've just taken it up. So that
Great.
completes the process. So
there's a value chain for that.
Exactly. Having original parts, having the original tools to fix the original parts, and have the right tools to fix the original parts, and having the certified technician to put this together. Because without that, and that's why the 10% on the parts is not just part, on the original part. Then the 10% on a certified technician that has been trained over time. You know, when we're talking of cars these days, we're talking of technology. So it's not a function of we want to do trial and error. And that was why some of the conversations...
Let me give it to the roadside guy.
Exactly. So some of the conversations we've had, engaging our different customers for this week, has been those feedbacks that, oh, yes, they do know that, oh, we have... Because if you are, for example, if you are coming to our workshop to fix your BMW, it's as good as you are taking that car to BMW in Munich. If you are coming to fix your Jaguar Land Rover in Costari's workshop, it's as good as taking the your car to Jaguar Land Rover in UK. If you are coming to fix your Ford in Costari's workshop, it's as good as you are taking your car to Ford in US. So with this 10% discount for this week, and not this week, and that's why I'm saying that it's not just for this week, because if we want to also go with the popular stuff after tomorrow, end of discussion now, but we're saying we're stretching this package till end of the year. Because you agree with me, we're going to the last quarter of the year. We're already in the last quarter of the year. Yes, thank God the COVID is leaving us and business is unfolding. I mean, things are moving. So at end of the year, you and I know that that is the peak period people want to be on the road. So you have this opportunity to get this. And I can also say this, for the Ford brand, that is also even a special package where we are also giving those kind of discounts across all the Ford variants. And I can tell you, this is the time you can enjoy a brand like Ford that you can now afford in Costaris. You understand? And that cuts across your Jaguar Land Rover, your BMW, and even your Renault, and the Morris garages, the MG. So if you have any of these, just walk into any of our outlets all over the country and enjoy this discount, celebrating you as our customer that has become our stakeholder. And that also stretches beyond just Friday, but it also stretches till end of the year.
Well, I want to thank you very much. We'll leave you with just the last 60 seconds we have. This camera on my left is watching you. The entire Costaris team is watching from around the world, and of course, your loyal customers and stakeholders across the world as well. It's time for you to felicitate and say some words to them.
Yes, on behalf of Costaris Group, I want to once again say a big thank you to all our customers all over the world that have turned to our stakeholders, that this mission that we've started together to create value for your money is a continuous one. And we also join the entire world to celebrate you for this week that we are all celebrating the Customer Service Week. More importantly, keeping safe. The COVID-19 is still very much ravaging, but we thank God. So please keep safe, because it's a safe and healthy customer that Costaris can also serve. So we wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Abiona Babarinde, General Manager, And of course, he manages several portfolios. But I want to thank you for handling marketing and comms. You've done justice to that by virtue of what we've had with you in the studio. Our cameras are ready. We'll follow the process tomorrow and bring our viewers what it looks like there at the grand finale for the Koschari's Customer Service Week tomorrow, Friday. For now, we want to say thank you for watching, and of course, those that participated via phone calls earlier, many thanks for doing that. We'll continue the process. You don't need to actually touch the channel because more interesting programs continues right here on Super Screen TV. From the entire production crew for U45 Morning Show, I remain Christopher Nwaogboh. It is bye for now.